Hey there, guys. This is Slamzeron, aka YouTube's Tasuke. You might have heard of this if you follow the Ys series, but we actually know what the PS4 and PS Vita Ys game is going to be, and it's been confirmed that it will, in fact, be Ys VIII, and it's actually called Ys VIII Lacrimosa of Dana, which I think, according to one of my friends, Lacrimosa apparently means tears or like weeping or something. So, weeping of Dana. Um, I imagine if Xseed picks it up, which they probably will, they'll probably sort of like work with the title a little bit. And we got some more pictures and some promotional art and a release date for summer, so that's cool. I imagine because Xseed, the E series is kind of their thing now. They'll probably bring it out like in fall, or maybe I don't know. This game kind of seems. It kind of reminds me of Ark and Nepishtim a little bit. I think this is meant to be another sort of like. Um, well, I don't know about that because based on the that first trailer and the screenshots we've seen, I think it's still using the Memories of Celceta engine and whatnot. So it's probably gonna be similar to that. So it'll probably be more of an action RPG than anything else. Though, as we've seen in the that first trailer, and as the producer mentioned in an article, you will be able to jump and whatnot, which I actually like because to me, I feel like Ys should be a platforming RPG. I feel like that should be its thing. It shouldn't just be a straight up action RPG or like an old school RPG. I think in order for it to really sort of like form an identity, its best bet is they can change up the graphics if they want to and not make them like chibi like they did with like Origin and like Oath and Felghana and whatnot in Ark and Nepishtim. But I think keeping the same general idea of like a platforming RPG, and there doesn't have to be a lot, but I do think it does need to have a little bit of platforming, just a little bit, even if it's just to progress through the level or something, or a castle or dungeon or something. And the producer also noted in like a Siliconera. I'll probably link the Siliconera article just so that you guys can see for yourself. But I know Adol looks different, and I'm like, does he really look that different though? Because in Memories of Celceta, he had a pretty unique design too. He didn't wear like the traditional like plate armor that he's been wearing throughout the entire series, and he's been like altering his like they've been altering his like design little by little, giving him less and less of the armor and making him look more like a unique character. I never minded the armor. I felt like that was sort of like a stylistic thing, but they're giving him a bit of a different design. I think part of it is just on the grounds that the reason why they say is because this is like the latest sequel, because Memories of Celceta was a remake of 4, and I think it was supposed to be like one of the earlier parts of the timeline, so it made sense for him not to wear like his armor because he's still kind of new to traveling. He looked kind of like a traveler too, but I feel like here, since it's a sequel, they might have been concerned. Well, it probably wouldn't make much sense for him to kind of go back to a style that he wore when he was younger, because he's like probably like 24 now, like maybe even 26 or whatever. But the characters, they look cool. We don't know anything else really besides it. We do know that Al, he gets stranded in like this tropical island like area, so that's part of the reason why it kind of reminds me of Ark Nepishtim a little bit. And that's really all we know. I do have, and I feel like I don't. And for the sake of not making this video like really short, I will kind of voice some things I hope they do. They're really like just a couple of things. I mean, obviously I want the music to be good, but the music's always good, so they're not gonna fuck that up. And another thing I want, like I said with like the jumping thing, we don't know too much about it, so it's kind of hard to tell like how useful it'll be. And they also gave us the dash, which I think is gonna be kind of weird to control, to have both jumping and dashing. I don't know, maybe it'll be kind of like the equipment things where like you could breathe underwater, or like you can like dash really fast, or if you just want your roll or whatever. I don't know. But I do hope that the jumping is more like it's more for like the platforming and whatnot. And we see a clip of like Adol like climbing on like those vine things and then jumping to like another side of one. So it's clear that there is some sort of like, I don't know if you call it platforming, but like some sort of like, you know what I mean. It seems like they're kind of going back to that a little bit, and I actually hope they do, because I that's sort of what kind of appealed, or what made me interested in the Ys series in the first place. Sort of that other thing, the platforming thingy. In the screenshots, we see a big, burly, blue-haired guy. I really hope that's not Dogi, because to me, like, his name is Dogi the Wall Crusher. He shouldn't be using a fucking anchor as a weapon. I understand if they want to give him an actual weapon, and that isn't to say that, like, fists are the only way to symbolize, like, a really strong, burly man, but I feel like part of Dogi's character is the fist thing. I mean, I'll still enjoy it, and it does kind of look a little different. The colors are a little different. He has a bit of lighter hair, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game is going to do what Memories of Celceta did by giving us another quote-unquote Dogi character, even if we don't necessarily have to. Or even if they don't necessarily have to. The complexion is actually pretty similar. He has that tan skin, but the hair's a little more, has a bit of a hint of green in it, I think. That's the best way I can describe it. So yeah, I hope Dogi is portrayed a little more like has been in the other games, with like the whole fist thingy and not like an actual weapon. I mean, if they give him a weapon, whatever, you know. But I feel like this part of this series' problem is that they've switched styles a little too much. Like every like pair of like 3 games, they switch the style sometimes, and with remakes, the style is generally dictated by what the latest game was at the time. Like, you know, we had Ark and Nepetium, and then we got the Ys III remake, Oath and Felganda. It played like that. And then we had Ys VII, and then we had Memories of Celceta, which played like it. I mean, obviously they kind of switched it up and like upgraded it. I'd say the transition from 7 to 4 to Memories of Celceta was a lot better. But another thing I kind of hope they do, I hope that they do what 7 kind of did, and what Memories of Celceta I feel like did the best, is that because, you know, part of this game's charm is that adults seeing new places, and I hope that each town, like each sort of like village, I want each area to sort of have like its own little, like each major town have like its own personality, and it's almost like you could make like an entire game based in that setting. That's what I really liked about Memories of Celceta. I felt like each town had like its own lore, like its own setup, like its own complete thing, and I really liked that about Celceta. It's probably still my favorite. I haven't played the original, nor do I particularly care to, but I guess that's really the only things I'm concerned with. I think a new adult action figure would be cool, like a Figma or something, or a new statue. I would prefer Figma, I think, because I want to play with them and be all like, use my sword. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it comes out in English shortly after the Japanese version. I feel like it'll probably be a fall game, even though the setting seems more like a summer game, so that might be kind of strange, or I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter that much, and even then, 7 felt a bit like a summer game anyway. Celceta felt like a fall game, and I think it came out in the fall anyway. I'd have to go back and check. But yeah, looking forward to it. This is Flamesar, aka YouTube Tasuke, signing out. See you later.